another one.
Advice on automation testing. Hey everyone, I'm new here. So I have been a manual QA engineer for 5 years and now I'm transitioning into automation. So, first question is, what is a manual QA engineer? Right? We'll revisit that once we finish reading the question. But what is a manual QA engineer? So some background. My company has an engineering team since the beginning, nearly 10 years now, but the QA team was only recently introduced 1 year ago. I was hired as a manual QA for a sprint team. Scrum team? Okay. But they recently changed the team structure and assigned me to the position of hybrid tester, which means I need to do both manual and automated testing. As I'll be the first and only automation engineer in the company, I feel kind of lost right now. I'm expected to build an automation suite for a website. Now, I have basic knowledge of automation testing, Selenium WebDriver, and I have completed some courses on automation testing as well. Right now, I would appreciate some advice from fellow QA engineers who transition from manual to automated testing. What is the best tool right now? We don't have a high budget. And what language is better? Most importantly, programming concepts. What concepts do I need to revisit in order to improve my automation scripting? I have not done any coding in a long time. The last time was in university. So any advice would be greatly, greatly appreciated.
Thank you for your patronage.
All right. So every week it's one of these, right? I gotta start screening these questions better. So let's just do it this way. All right, so let's go point. All right, so back to my original question: what is a manual QA engineer? Right, I am not entirely sure. So that's what I, because there's always this thing about the title of engineers, right? And when it comes to engineers, so some people will say you're not an engineer if you didn't go to college to get for engineering. And then there's people say stuff, right? But if we look up the definition of an engineer, right? A person who designs, builds, or maintains engines, machines, or public works. Or it's a verb for engineer, which is design and build, right? So we design and build software, as software engineers, and QA engineers design and build QA stuff, right? They frameworks, test, infrastructure. We have to put things together. Pretty much what we're doing, right? We are researching, we are creating structures, and we're like, all right, now we're going to build this test. We're going to build the infrastructure for the test to run on. We're going to, we create something out of nothing for the most part, right? That's how it normally goes. Now, the manual QA engineer, I am not too familiar with what a manual QA engineer does, but maybe that is the new title that they have assigned to people who do traditional testing, right? See, I don't even like using manual QA. I like to use traditional, because even as automation engineers, QA engineers, because my title is just senior QA engineer, lead QA engineer, whatever the case may be, because I do manual stuff. I write test cases. I write test plans. I write automated tests. I do Docker stuff. I do AWS stuff. Now I do Terraform stuff. Right? Not a big deal. So all right, let's move on from there. But that one caught my eye, right? Like a manual QA engineer. But you are transitioning, so now you're a hybrid engineer. You're a hybrid QA engineer, right? So let's make sure we use the right title for you. right? Hybrid QA engineer. So you do manual and automated tests like every other QA engineer does. They do manual and automated tests along with a plethora of other stuff, right? But you're feeling kind of lost, and you're taking a course of you know, so you're taking a course, but what do you do? Well, the very, 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 very first thing that you should do is hmm, sign up for the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon. Sign up for one-on-one coaching where I can guide you. See, and here's the beauty about this, right? You already have the position, so now you just need guidance. You need mentorship. But a lot of times, people do not want to pay for mentorship. They do not want to pay for coaching. They do not want to pay for guidance, right? When all you need is a little somebody. You need somebody to hold your hand a little bit, right? However, we do not do pity parties. I do not accept invitations to pity parties, right? But which is kind of what you're having right now. But if you are proactive and you say, "All right, I need help," right? So how do you get help? Well, hmm, let me find somebody who is a expert in the field who's been doing this for 20 years, who has tons and tons of automation experience, right? Don, if somebody was to reach out to you say, "Hey, I'm in QA. I'm looking to get better in automation. I know a little bit of automation, and would you be willing to mentor me? Let me know your rates, and I see how smart and talented you are, and I would appreciate you if you could coach me, help me navigate the field so I can get better." What would you say? Right? But and then you can go on LinkedIn and see people's history, see people's profile. You can find a mentor. You can find a coach if you really wanted to, right? But a lot of times, it's so much easier to go and post on some website, on some forum, and say that, um, "Hey, here's where I am. I don't know what to do." The answer is get a mentor, get a coach. That's Everybody needs a mentor and a coach. See, me, I didn't. I didn't have that. I had to dig through the mud for so many years to pave the way for myself, right? I had some insight on the way, but I had to figure all this out myself. There wasn't LinkedIn the way that it is now that you can find anything that you need. I was using, I forgot what Selenium Easy website to figure a lot of this stuff out. I went from quick test professional unified functional testing to converting the whole company to using Selenium, saving us $15,000 a year, right? But I had to figure that out on my own. And then how to do the migration to move all the tests over to from one place to another. And then we are able to do so much more tests. But now with the internet, with LinkedIn, you can find anybody, right? You can find anybody. See, now some of the people that you might try to offer, you might not be able to afford them, right? Because let's say you go to like Netflix and you find one of their QA engineers, you might not be able to afford them. But you could also join the Tech Coach Ralph Patreon, where I make it super super affordable, and I give you a plan. Like, take this course, spend this much time. Um, Always have the green light on your availability green, because until the work is done, right? We have a goal. Until the work is done, the job's not finished. There is no sleep. There is no other options. Maybe that's not good for you. Maybe you need your beauty rest, right? But it's up to you, right? That is totally up to you. And Don answers my question. He said they would need to show they're serious before I would even consider it. That is totally true. I agree with that, right? And that is like one of my people who are not serious. And so here's the thing, right? And here's the way I can tell that a lot of people aren't serious, right? Because the way that um, they approach you in the mindset of that, like, hey, can you do this for me? I want, I want, here's the mindset, right? And Don, tell me if you agree with this, right? They'll approach you with, yeah, you have 15, 20, 25 years of experience, right? Can you condense all that information and take my lack of experience, my messed up planning and everything, and condense that into like a 5 minute thing where you give me everything that you ever known for free. Give me everything you ever know, like all the stuff that you learned for the past 20, 30 years for free. That's how they approach you. And that's how I know that they're not serious. Right? So anyways, the answer is find yourself a mentor, find yourself a coach, or sign up for the Patreon, right? The choice is yours.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.